Good morning, everyone. Happy Monday. So I have a layout for you today using a brand new collection from Wild Whisper. This collection is called City Lights, and it has gorgeous, bright, summery colors. I want to show off some of that color, so I grabbed a stencil. This particular stencil is from Catherine Pooler, and it's like a starburst stencil. And what I'm going to do is I am going to create little starbursts all around my page with some Distress Oxides and my life-changing brushes that match the colors in this particular collection and in my layout. So my photo is going to be of my youngest son, and he is standing in front of like a mural that is in our downtown area, and he's wearing the colors in the photo really show off the colors in this collection. They match really well, so I thought it would be a good photo to use. This new collection, I will say, is very Canadian-centric. So while it is bright and fun and super cute, for those of us in the U.S., it might be, there are elements that we just won't use. But that's okay, because if you're a Canadian follower, then this collection is fabulous for you. It has all the names of all the different cities and landmarks. It's super cute. So I used Mermaid Lagoon Fossilized Amber, and for the orange, I started with a dried marigold and then came back in with some ripe persimmon just to boost that orange color a little bit better. And you can see here that this is my background I've created now. And creating this background made my layout super easy because a lot of the design work is done. So now I want to cut one of these skylines, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fussy cut it. And I know that I want that pretty orange that's in the middle of that paper. And I'm not going to, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure it. This is an 8.5 by 11 layout, so I'm just going to go ahead and mark very scientifically with my thumb, and then I'm going to use my scissors to trim out all of those little buildings and create a fun border for the bottom of my page. So it's kind of like a landing area for all of my designs from there. I'm sorry if you can hear the sirens. Apparently we have like something going on outside. So I have that bit fussy cut, and then I'm going to use this blue paper. Now, the other side of that blue paper, that's one of the ones that has all the names of the Canadian cities on it, but the other side would be totally useful for anything you would like. I'm going to cut down a photo mat for my page, and I'm going to map my photo on this beautiful blue paper, and then I'm going to put it right there on my photo, right there on that blue starburst. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a clusters around those 3 starbursts. And then this bright blue kind of stained glass, that's actually a branding strip from the page, one of the pattern papers, and I'm just going to use the branding strip. I'm not going to use any other piece of that paper. But that branding strip was really, really cute, and I thought it worked really well for the look that I was going for. And so I'm just going to grab this city skyline, and it doesn't matter that it's not the city I'm scrapbooking, because let's face it, I live in what is really a town, not a city, and yeah, no one's ever going to make a skyline of the little town I live in, so I am trying to use up these these little foam circles, so I'm going to just use up this entire whole acetate package of these foam dots, and I'm going to bump my photo up just a little bit, and then I'm going to take this paper and I am going to go ahead and fussy cut oodles of these little icons. So this, some of these icons are also in the cut apart sheets, but I really wanted them in a little bit of a smaller scale. And I found fussy cutting this particular paper and taking the things I wanted from it would work really well. And then I'm going to use this one larger square for my layout as well. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to fussy cut all the things. And so I just take my time and kind of pick the elements that are in the colors that I want, or that are icons that I think will work really well for this particular layout. And I'm just going to go through here and fussy cut lots of things. So once I had some of these elements fussy cut, I then added 2 of the flare badges. Now, I knew going into this that because this is a mini collection, I was going to have to pull a few things from my stash to kind of finish it off. So I'm just looking through here. I thought about sequins, but ultimately what I decided on was this stamp set, which is a Wild Whisper stamp set. It's the Lake Life stamp set, and I will be sure to link it down below and in the blog post if it is still available. And then I also just pulled out these puffy Bella Boulevard stars from my stash because they worked perfectly. The colors did. And so I decided that those would be just the 2 elements from my stash I would pull in just to add a little something different to my clusters here. A little something to sprinkle about. And you know how much I love my stamps. So I'm just going to pop up a couple of these elements and tuck them around and behind, and that will help to create these clusters and just show off the beautiful colors in this collection to their very best. I chose a stamp that just said grateful for this day, and that's what I'm going to use as my title, but I wasn't sure what color I wanted to use. So I'm going to kind of practice stamp it on a piece of scratch paper because I just wasn't sure initially I thought I wanted the blue, but then I was kind of like, that makes a lot of blue, and I kind of was more interested in pulling out some of the yellow or some of the orange colors that aren't as prominently featured in the layout. I felt like there was a lot of blue. And so the way that I'm going to do this is I'm just going to go ahead and stamp each of this stamp, and this helps to season the stamp too. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to stamp it with the Ripe Persimmon and the Mermaid Lagoon and the Fossilized Amber until I kind of decide which one I want to try. And ultimately I'm going to go with the yellow. And I think that worked well. It kind of pulled some of that yellow down in because I have the orange and the blue across the bottom of the page, so I felt like maybe pulling in some of that yellow was a good way to kind of pull the rest of those colors down through the layout. And so the next thing I'm going to do is to date stamp my page. I'm just going to use that Mermaid Lagoon ink and my very favorite date stamp, and I'm going to go ahead and put that on. The next thing that I want to do now is I want to add puffy stars to the layout. And I'm going to just create 3 little triangle clusters down the page. And that's where I'm going to end this. I really kept looking at this layout and thinking I wanted more, but ultimately in the end I decided it was done and I didn't need more. So thank you so much for joining me today. I have some close-ups for you so you can really get a look at the picture and the photo that I used and things. And yeah, have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll talk to you all again soon. Bye.